And we are live. Hello to all my BC WrestlePod nerds out there, and welcome to another rendition of Dual Dynasty, your weekly WWE review show here at BC WrestlePod. I am El Jefe of BC WrestlePod, Mikey, and I am happy to be here with my co-host. First and foremost, we got the full panel here today. First and foremost, making his grand re-debut with the resurgence of, luchadors just coming into WWE point blank, period. Senor Luchadont is finally back in the fold. It's been a hot minute, my friend. Where have you been?
Many thought he could move and leave me in the basement and I wouldn't find him. But that dumbass only moved 4 houses down. It's not fucking hard to find him.
You've been in a basement for like 3 weeks?
Man, cheese crackers are good, dude.
What?
At least he fed you. At least he. All right. Well,
I had like a year supply of cheese crackers, man. The crackers where it's like the 2 crackers and they have like the cheese in the middle.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You let me that and some milk.
That's a food group if you're under 15. Yeah, no, big time. Yeah.
That's a food group if you're under 15. Oh no. I love that. So, Senor Luchadon, I'm happy to have you here. We're going to have a great time. Of course, joining me as well this lovely Sunday morning / afternoon is the Professor, who there's a lot going on right now just in general in the world. But I give you kudos and points because doggy rehab sounds oof.
Yeah, trying to do physical therapy on a 9-month-old puppy who hates you, who went from loving you to hating you within 2 weeks. It's very hard. Between that and school starts next week, and
oh my gosh.
I'm on contract, so I just got to start building all my stuff and doing all the work that I got to do. Summer's hard. Not as hard as watching SmackDown. We'll talk about it. I'm not saying this will be a short episode because we like to talk, but there were 1 or 2 moments in SmackDown that were fine, but overall it was like we didn't need this. You didn't progress anything. You just kind of flipped the script. And since SummerSlam, they've lost all their momentum. They're doing great stuff over AAA. That seems like it's super fun.
Yeah, Microman versus Omos, match of the year.
That was wild.
So good and such a brilliant idea. Everyone took a step backwards. Even the promos that I liked was like, this doesn't do nothing. Where are we going? So I'm a little nervous for Paris because we got nothing to do. We'll see.
I was just I'm not going to lie. Clash in Paris is this is feeling like a more produced Saturday night's main event that it feels like with the matches that we're getting, which is kind of what crazy.
They're doing when it was just a little over a year ago when we went to Lyon, France and just brought the house down. It's kind of not what Paris wanted.
No. I was just all right, well, yeah. So we'll get into all that. And then, of course, rounding out our quartet for this morning and afternoon is the Kilt Man, who had a very up and down week with regards to WWE. The developmental brand was fun because somebody was there live.
I keep seeing clips and snippets of me, and I'm like, that's my face.
I only watched. I can't remember. I watched the first 10 minutes. I don't know if I saw you.
You might have seen me.
Okay.
Because so if anything happened where it was kind of towards the right of where they enter and basically to the left of the screen, because they only shoot from that one side primarily.
Right.
Up that stairway. Yeah, I was right there.
Oh shoot! I must have seen you then. I gotta go look again.
I'll send you an image in a minute.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm distracted. I'm doing mod things.
Raw and SmackDown were so good.
Oh my god!
We're talking about seeing Kilt on
NXT. The SmackDown on
NXT. It was crazy.
There's a episode of SmackDown we recorded in Tempe, Arizona in October. I'll be at that, and I'll be at the episode of Raw in December. It's also out in Arizona.
Crazy.
That's great. I don't know if I could afford a $700 ticket to go, but I'd like to.
I will say
I have a friend down here who has connections, so they were able to get the pre-sale code the day before pre-sale.
Wow.
So we got our tickets for $275. Still expensive for a fucking taping of Raw, but
yeah.
which is very fair. I will say, though, 2025, especially for us on the West Coast, I don't know what was in the water, but they decided let's have a bunch of things happen because we rarely get a lot of things in the West Coast. And this year, across all the boards, we've gotten tapings and pay-per-views and big milestones, like, for example, Dynamite 300, Collision 100. That double taping was so much fun. Revolution for AEW was out here. It's crazy out here.
Minnie got to go see Double or Nothing when I was out
Double
here.
or Nothing was fun.
Got to watch that bum-ass Kenny Omega wrestle.
I got to go to a TNA pay-per-view in April. Listen, we're trying to prolong the torture that is talking about this week's WWE programming, but
I know, notice how we're just getting farther and farther away from what we have to do.
Yeah, we're starting to talk about AEW now. Like,
I mean, yeah. So
talk about the Mets, baby, the Mets.
There were juggalos over the weekend. I don't know if you saw.
There are still juggalos happening later tonight. I will get into all that at the end, but all right, we've kind of digressed for too long. Let's just jump into it because we're gonna do something a little bit different today. Raw and SmackDown was kind of mid to do a whole entire. Let's start from the beginning of the show to the end of the show. So what I decided to do for Raw and SmackDown this week is we are going to just have a conversation. We just going to talk, some mess. We're going to talk about, where we think things are heading, if we like it, if we don't like it. So we're going to get into all of this. So we are going to start things off like we normally do here at Dual Dynasty with Raw. But before we get into it too much, to quickly go through housekeeping, if you enjoy our content, you can follow and subscribe to us on YouTube, hit that bell notification, or you can follow us on Twitch and Kick, whatever your preferred streaming platform is to watch these live reviews. And we also have our edited reviews go up the next day on YouTube. But we understand that full-length sit-downs and watching hour-long productions is maybe not the best. I'm getting there, Kilt. Don't worry about it. I have an order here that I follow. Anyways, so if that is not your thing, if you cannot commit to the time, we understand. We love you regardless. But you can also interact with us via the social medias on all the other social media platforms that we have at BC WrestlePod, where we do report cards. We have other things like previews of what's coming up for each, television show that we follow. We also do a lot of fun stuff here. And then last but certainly not least, we have some merchandise for you. Half of us are rocking our new merch. Kilt is rocking our, newest logo t-shirt, which is fantastic. Looking great, which is great. You can just put it over your head, which is fantastic. And then, of course, I am wearing our special anniversary tee, the 2/3 year anniversary, which is really fun. It's got a really cool design on the front. We got printed on the sleeves and something on the back.
3 years?
Yes.
Really?
So this past June marked 3 years since we started this.
100 subscribers a year. Let's go. Woo!
Hey, you know what? We are 6 away from 400 YouTube subscribers, which is crazy.
I think I got here what was it? We were just under 100 because I was here for breaking 100.
Yeah, so it is crazy. I am very happy. But yeah, if you want to rock some merchandise, make sure to hit that link in the chat, which is bcwrestlepodshop.fourthwall.com. That is bcwrestlepodshop.fourthwall.com. Alrighty, now that that's out of the way, let's jump into Monday Night Raw. So, yeah, shout out Nick in the chat. Let's get us to the 400. Can't wait.
There he is.
So, oh my goodness. Alrighty, so we're going to start off with Monday Night Raw. We got 3 talking points, and we'll see how long it goes before we get into SmackDown. So once again, I've divided up the Raw show into 3 parts. And yeah, let's just jump into it. So let's start with the biggest talking point that we are, which has to do with what's currently going on in our main event picture and what seems to be some sort of power struggle going on with these factions and other wrestlers in here. So, again, we're going to start with the top of the card. So, to kind of recap all these things that happened throughout the Monday Night Raw, we started off with CM Punk opening the show with a promo with LA Knight interrupting. And then, of course, we don't get too far because The Vision, who is now, Seth Rollins' faction finally has a name after who knows how long at this point. We finally got confirmation that that's what they're calling themselves after last week. The Vision attacks, and then we end up getting a match made between Punk and Knight and the Vision, which, of course, say it with me, folks. How does this match end in the main event? By disqualification, which I'm just like... So it is annoying. So the match ends in a DQ after more chaos and shenanigans. Main event, Jey Uso throws his name into the world title picture backstage. Prior to this, again, there's lots of people who are making stakes and claims. Main event time happens. And DQ, everybody's fighting. Everybody is upset with each other. Scrap Daddy Adam Pearce comes out at the end of Monday Night Raw, letting Seth Rollins know that he will be defending his championship at Clash in Paris in a fatal four-way, which will see him defend the title against CM Punk, LA Knight, and main event Jey Uso. So let's discuss this. So, gentlemen, anyone can start here. How are we feeling about this, main title scene? Do we care? Like, how do we feel about the individuals that are going to be participating in this fatal four-way in Clash in Paris? Do we really think that any of these three have a chance, or like, what is your take on this? And I'm actually going to go to you first, Professor. So, how are we feeling about this whole situation?
I like that LA Knight is in that conversation. That makes me happy. And I kind of talked about that last week too. The fact that he's getting to, be in the same Venn diagram as CM Punk and the Vision, as we're talking about it. I think that's great. Because we've been hoping for him to get out of the mid card. I know. So we did the switch, right? So LA Knight's over on the Raw now. Sammy's over on SmackDown until we figure out what the draft actually is, right?
If we even get one. Yep.
If we even get one, because it's arbitrary, right? I'm going to miss LA Knight, but I think he needed to get over to Raw because there's just some more singles things and more stuff that he can do over there. They never did an LA Knight Cody really over here. There's a few things that, they just kind of let him get stagnant. So hopefully they can figure something out from over there. I don't know. I didn't watch the entirety of Raw. I just kind of checked it on the highlights and what other people were saying, which apparently is all I really needed because it was super exciting. That's really my take. I wonder where we're going with CM Punk, because it seems like, and this is across the board, everyone that was getting pushes and had all this momentum, we've all just kind of flatlined it going into fall for some reason. And I don't know if that's we took a step back for John Cena's sake or injuries or everyone shooting a movie or whatever. We just kind of got, I'm not saying dull like it's boring, but dull like let's run what we've been running. So folks who watch every week, it's kind of the same. So I hope he pulls out of that.
We hope so too. So I'm going to come over to you, Kilt, next. So Kilt, you do your best to try to watch both, but yeah, Raw. Same question to you. How are we feeling about this fatal four-way at Clash in Paris, and how do we feel overall that the World Heavyweight Championship scene is being handled on Monday Night Raw? What do you think?
So I have to mirror the sentiment of LA Knight's actually getting this push towards this championship and going into the main event scene. I think there's a great opportunity for him. It's a great build for him. It also shows that maybe they're not going to give him the Karrion Kross treatment, because him and Karrion Kross were two of the crowd funded, so to speak, people. And Triple H doesn't like it when the crowd puts them over versus he puts them over, or him in creativity puts it over.
Well, initially they seemed to really like it, which was different than Vince. But the last 7 or 8 months, they have not been receptive to it. Not to cut you off, but that's a good point.
So basically, yay, LA Knight. Okay, cool. I can see CM Punk and him going after it. It'd be cool, an opportunity. Jay getting his chance to get back at it. I like that. It's going to be an interesting match, but this is literally the only thing that had any build-up for Clash of Paris this week at all. And it's sad.
Well, we're going to talk about it in a little bit because, well, to spoil it, like last 2 weeks, like last Monday Night Raw, Naomi went missing from television. You know, she and her husbando were on Stephanie's podcast earlier this week. Everyone was thinking we're going to get answers. So Naomi is going to address tomorrow, Monday Night Raw, to figure out what's going on with the whole situation, because we're kind of holding Stephanie Vaquer's title shot hostage right now, which is kind of crazy. So we'll see how that all goes. So she's been MIA for 2 weeks, and so that has done nothing for Stephanie. It's done nothing for Io either. The match with her and Roxanne were really good, but yeah, I was just like, this last minute changes is throwing everything. And once again, the women, get shafted. Anyways, finally, Senor Luchador, same question. Main event scene, Clash in Paris, Fatal 4-Way. How are we feeling about this whole entire World Heavyweight Championship scene leading into Clash in Paris?
You know, the Seth thing was cool, even though apparently he got a lot of heat backstage of him faking the injury. I think everybody's getting shafted right now, man. This shit, what the fuck is creative doing? I've never been more I'd rather watch two turtles fuck than watch fucking wrestling right now with WWE. Like, I'm serious. Like, that's where it's at.
I'm pretty sure that's a website. I'm pretty sure
probably,
you can type in.
It's called National Geographic.
What sounds do they make? Like, shit.
TwoTurtlesFucking.com. I'm pretty sure that's
it's like,
the thing.
Be like, ah.
I started watching SmackDown. I got like 45 minutes in. I turned it off.
Can I say, I'm glad you said that. I'm going to say this. I was going to save this for later. I watched the first hour and 20 and then remembered, oh yeah, I didn't finish Collision, and jumped over to Collision and watched that. I did it.
Like, honestly, for real, like, I don't know what's happening. So, okay. I want
not to cut off Lucha Don't. Please continue Lucha Don't. I was just
like, I love all the people involved. LA Knight, CM Punk, Main Event, Jey Uso. They can do some really cool stuff with them, but the story, the build up to it. I know the match is going to be good because they're all good at what they do, but like the build up to it has been minimal to non-existent. So it's like, why do I care?
It's baffling to me, and this will be a reoccurring talk as we go through the rest of this week's episode. But like,
maybe this week's SmackDown and Raws are why do I care?
It's copy and paste storytelling. I was just like, this is the same thing that we got like 2-3 years ago. Why are we keep running back the same thing? I don't get it. It's really crazy out here, and I'm just like, I'm telling you, ever since Evolution, like, things have kind of been weird. SummerSlam was also very weird, and choices that were had. And I was just like, y'all just had the women show up and show out at Evolution. So why are they the ones getting shafted this week? I was just like, what is happening right now? But I digress. So again, the big thing to kind of come out of this first talking point is this Fatal 4-Way has been set up for Clash. And as of right now, the only other match we have is freaking John Cena versus Logan Paul, which was made last week on SmackDown. No idea what's tomorrow. Hopefully we get answers, because I feel that if we don't get some sort of match at Clash in Paris for that women's title, I was like, that's such a disservice to Stephanie Vaquer, who won that chance to fight for the title at Evolution, which, you know, crazy. But yeah, so we'll see what happens. The only other thing that we found out is that Roman Reigns is going to be at Clash in Paris. I'm like, why? I was like, for what? I was like, I don't care. Anywho. So let's move on to our second talking point for Raw, which has to do with, well, the mid-card and, you know, the women's division direction. So here's a rundown of all those two things that happened this episode. So in the middle of the mid-card, there's a lot of things that are kind of going on. I feel like, especially on the men's side, it was more to set up for what went down at Triple Mania yesterday on Saturday. So, of course, we have Dominic and El Grande Americano Tall Latte defeating AJ Styles and Dragon Lee. not one DQ, but we got a second DQ earlier in the show when Sami Zayn was able to beat Rusev by DQ because he got jumped by the MFTs. So I was like, okay, so we had 2 DQs in one show. Great to know, Raw. Adam Pearce sets up Xavier Woods and Penta for next week. So I was like, what are we doing with the New Day and even Penta? Like, what is going on here? Like, I don't understand. So that's your mid-card action. Then on the women's side, of course, like I said, Roxanne Perez pulls off a very big win over Io Sky. We have Becky Lynch beat up on Maxine. And, Rhea Ripley is out here questioning Io's allegiance with the Kabuki Warriors, which we saw Asuka pushing Io and kind of like being upset with her. And according to the reports, this was supposed to be a slow burn, but with everything going on, we kind of fast-tracked the Asuka heel turn, I guess. So I was like, would have been cool for a slow burn, but whatever. Y'all don't put time in everything for the women. So it looks like Kabuki Warriors might be turning heel once again, which was fine, but we're kind of fast-tracking it. So, Kilt, I'm going to start with you. So here is the question that I have. So again, mid-card and women's side. Which one of these sides or which one of these stories that we're getting has the most juice for you right now? And why do we care about it? So which one do you care about most, or what is your praises and critiques? Like, however you want to answer this. Like, how do you feel about what's going on currently with the mid-card and the women's division on Raw?
It's kind of there. It's really what it is. The unfortunate situation, as I've noticed it and as I've seen it so far, is creative for some reason likes to do these super slow burns that only work in yaoi. And I'm like, this isn't gay porn. Come on now. We got shit to do. You have to make an actual story. You can't just do this. So
Gay porn
Really,
and
right
turtles
in front
fucking-
of my
that's a-
salad.
that's a fucking episode.
In front of my salad kill. Anyways,
Wait,
continue.
you have salad? Where's mine? But no, it's the Kabuki Warriors situation is kind of funny and kind of I actually like it a little bit more than anything else because it's they actually let them do the promos in Japanese, and I thought that was a great option instead of them trying to go through it in English, which will make it even more difficult for them. But this whole thing, like the American Championship for the mid card is. Oh wait, that's on SmackDown. Never mind. Yeah, just everything is just kind of meh. It's like I'm interested, but I'm not interested at the same time. Like it's sad that I have to sit here and force myself to watch this episode of Raw, is skipping through it just to get to the matches, just to get to a basic understanding of what's going on, and then like literally just like making those promos cut short. I literally started watching Raw at 12:30 my local time. That's 2.5 hours ago. I finished watching SmackDown 45 minutes later.
Oh no!
It was
rough this week. Yeah,
the whole thing was rough. It's so bad that it's like I had such a great time at NXT. I was so excited. I hope I get the email again, then I go back. But God, and the funny thing is that the voice of NXT has a TikTok, and we were talking about something, so that was cool. Anyway, see, look, I'm going about other brands now. That's how much it's so boring.
Well, listen, if it makes you feel any better, this week across the board for BC WrestlePod has the majority of the hosts minus the AEW team right now putting on like, what the heck are we doing? Like the TNA, like us TNA boys, we're kind of struggling right now because I was just like, every single year in between Slammiversary and Bound for Glory, it's like a rough patch for the TNA as we end the year. CMLL is always fantastic. NXT is on and popping too. Like I've been enjoying NXT so much, and I was just like, I don't know if it's because Shawn Michaels is in charge of it, but who knows? Senor Luchadont, I have the same question for you. Do we care about this mid card and this women's, divisions and what's going on in terms of match wise and story wise on Raw?
No.
Okay.
No, it's
No,
The reason why I
full
even care
sentence, we love
about the whole Dominic Mysterio thing is because what just happened on Triple A Mania, like that. That's the only reason why I even cared, and you have to watch that to even care, because AJ Styles came back and he's doing the thing where he's like, you know what, I'm gonna fly across the world just to fuck with you.
I'm
That's
just
the
gonna
only
say,
reason why I even care.
his frequent flyer miles must be crazy high at this point. AJ literally went to Australia to screw over LA Knight at Chamber, and then he flew over to Mexico to screw over Dominic out of the AAA Mega Championship. So it's crazy. Finally, Professor, like, what are your additional thoughts to the mid card in the women's division?
I mean, I'm not watching Raw enough, but I know it's been kind of a mess with her for a while. I love heel Asuka.
Me too.
I like heel Asuka. She's a great face, and the kids love her. Like, she's fantastic. But when she's heel Asuka, she is off the chain.
I'm ready for her to submit people in her. I need her to go back to NXT version Asuka with that intensity.
She's gonna miss people. She puts teeth on her face. Like, she changes everything when she goes heel. So if they're going heel, then that's gonna be a lot of fun. I think that'll give everyone something to do. Outside of that, I know nothing.
Very fair. Alrighty. So this leads us into our final talking point for Raw before we move on to SmackDown, which is, I want to say, ongoing stories and character development, but honestly, we're kind of all over the place. But I will say this, and this might just be a me thing, and I really enjoyed this though, but there were some character progressions, or hopefully there'll be interesting stuff happening. I will say that my favorite part of Raw this week had to be that Bayley vignette, that pre-tape promo that we got from her, where she talks about, and it does worry me a little bit because of what we know in her personal life too, that we're going with she can't remember the last time she truly felt proud of herself. That really stands out to her within the last year or two. And I'm like, oh God, this is too close, especially after that Chris Van Vliet interview that he had with her a couple months ago too. I really enjoyed this, but in the back of my mind, I was like, God, Bayley, I really hope you're taking care of yourself, girl, because like this is rough for you. The way that you are one of the 4 horsewomen of WWE, and you always seem to get shafted when it comes to stuff. Like, ooh, Nick coming in with the spicy take. Bayley's time is up. Her AEW time is now.
Oh, man. Bayley to AEW? All hell breaks loose. My God.
So here's my thing, right?
Oh, Bayley Tony Storm? Oh.
I'd watch the shit out of that.
I would too. And here's the thing. Mercedes has been hinting, and we always know that her and Bayley are like besties. Like, I don't know what it would take, but I feel like Bayley should pull a Mercedes Moné and be like, hey, walk away from this company, especially if they're not going to give her or treat her right. She held it down with her and Mercedes / Sasha Banks during the pandemic era, and that was the highlight. And then once we got back to regular crowds, everything was just so
the women's division in AEW is pretty stacked, so there would be a bit of shuffling. And granted, they've booked it better over the last year, but they could always do more, and they're figuring that out. Fine, whatever. Man. But Tony Khan has that thing where he was saying, no more WWE talent because of all these things that happen.
Right.
But we've seen Ricochet kill it. We've seen Adam Copeland do really, really well.
Honestly, I will say though, I feel like Bayley would be amazing, especially, having a friend in Mercedes there.
Yeah.
So
Karrion Kross, Scarlett, and Bayley heading over to AEW right now. That would be WWE's worst nightmare. That would drive
and even not on
crazy.
AEW. If you want to put Bayley in a small program in Ring of Honor too, like, because we also have Ring of Honor as well, and this would allow Bayley to also, if she ends up being a part of AEW, can you imagine her going to the independents to fight like internationally, and then even like on the US independents? Like, it would be great. Again, we're talking about Raw, that we're talking about the prospect of Bayley going
through
to
the AEW dodgeball at us, and we jumped on it.
But we can reel it back in though, because like, I'm intrigued and I'm interested. I don't trust WWE enough to do right by Bayley because time after time again, like she has proven to be phenomenal, and they just don't want to give her anything, which is crazy.
Not to go full tin hat, but I swear it's TKO, and they got a hand in creative, and they kind of know what they want, who they want, and who they want to pay, and they're just sort of not listening to the fans unless they're, cultish against whoever they're following, or there's contracts or whatever else, but they're squeezing people out. That's everything we've seen for the last year.
So that was probably the biggest development we got, but some other things that are kind of progressing, like New Day and Grayson Waller are, being heels. They were in Quebec for Raw. So during the commercial break, they were taunting Quebec. Stephanie Vaquer kind of crashing out, but rightfully so, because her title shot is up in the air. And she and Rhea Ripley are kind of like eyeing each other up, like be like, we're here to fight each other. So I was like, I have an inkling of where we're going, depending on what Naomi says tomorrow, but I digress. Judgment Day also getting into Io's business, which is kind of interesting and weird to see, like everyone's cross-pollinating. Sami Zayn and Sheamus, with Sami telling Sheamus to stay out of his business, which he did, and proceeded to get jumped for his troubles. And poor Scrap Daddy Adam Pearce having to deal with the chaotic Raw division. Like Raw's roster is running rampant and he is struggling to get it together. So, Professor, you kind of alluded to what we were talking about Bayley, but does anything else within that recap interest you outside of that, or not really?
Things that we've already said, it seems like they're just treading water, waiting for the next big thing, which isn't a shame. And it feels like it almost feels like this is contract negotiation season, if that makes sense. Like baseball, football, and all these other sports. I think we're in that sort of 8 to 9 to 10 week lull where it's sort of, we had a little bit back in January, February, and now we have this big wave of who's negotiating, who's not, whose contract's coming up, who's talking about what sort of thing. Because it seems like after SummerSlam, everyone renegotiates, getting ready for the next year. That's what makes this tough. It's like, there's sort of nothing to really jump on right now.
Right. Very fair. Senor Luchadont, same question to you. Do we care about any of the other developments that happened on Raw? Duly noted. And finally, the Kilt Man.
It's going to be a trip, I'm going to say. It's going to be a little hard to kind of reel back in the attention span for... Obviously, I'm going to pay attention to Raw because I want to know what happened to Naomi for real, because obviously I'm concerned for her well-being because, hometown girl.
Yeah, she's out, right?
She's out. No one knows why she's out. She's just out and medically uncleared to wrestle.
Wow, woof,
what I'm hoping is the case is the leading rumor, which is she's pregnant, which would be amazing. Which I would be here for. Sad, but I'd be happy, and that would be okay because she's not injured. Now she announces she's injured. I'm like, Naomi's cursed you guys, because last time she won the last time that Naomi won a singles championship, like one of the top titles, this was during the 2016 era of like Raw and SmackDown exclusive pay-per-views, right? And she had to get it up due to injury. 2016. That was almost 9 years ago since she last held the singles championship in WWE. And if she's actually injured, I'm like, Naomi is cursed, y'all. Like, I don't know what's going on. This title is cursed.
That's tough. That would be a shame.
So, and honestly, Kilt, I agree with you. I'm interested to see what is going to happen with Naomi's announcement, because this is also going to affect Stephanie Vaquer, Io, Rhea, because those three are kind of swarming around Naomi in this championship. So if Naomi relinquishes the title, my guess is we're probably going to get a triple threat at Clash in Paris, which on paper is amazing. But then I'm also like, then that means that you give it to Stephanie, right? Because Rhea, I feel like, doesn't need the title right now. Io just lost the title. I mean, if you give it back to her, cool and everything. But I kind of want to see what a Stephanie Buckhead run would look like for a little bit, especially if her first two contenders are Io and Rhea, which, again, my mind and my matchmaking skills be like, God, those matches are gonna rule. But we have to wait to see what Naomi says. And I swear to God, if this was a whole work for the last 2 weeks, I'm gonna be throwing things metaphorically at my TV screen like, WWE, you suck.
Injury works are the new dives and DQs for 2026. It's just gonna continue. We don't think any injury is real.
I hate it here, you guys. Now you all make me question any injuries. Like, I don't play with injuries like that. It's crazy.
It's gonna be car accidents. It's gonna be crazy things. People are going to come back from the dead. They got to try something.
So, well, that ends our Raw discussion. So now let's jump over into the Smacketh of Downs, which was also equally as rough to get through this week.
Thanks for coming, everybody. We'll see you all next week.
Yep, it was the yappiest of letdowns as we were.
Okay, so
here's my opinions on SmackDown.
We love to see it. Alrighty. So same thing. I broke down SmackDown into 3 talking points. So let's start with probably the biggest thing, which I don't care for, but it is. Let's talk about the MFTs and Sami Zayn officially moving to SmackDown, right? Oh, before though, we got a run-in spot here. So I'm going to bring them in really quickly. So hold on. We're going to change the scene.
Oh, no.
We're going to change the scenery a little bit.
Oh, no.
So give me a sec.
We're running.
There we go.
What's
Run-in spot.
It's the Knicks.
The Knicks.
Oh, it's Nick and Nikki. The Knicks.
Too sweet.
We love this.
Nice.
So, yeah. So, hi, you two. Oh, glad to have you here. I'm just changing the scenery a little bit to try to fit us all.
So you showed up for SmackDown, huh? Of all the things to show up for, you showed up for this?
Well, WWE didn't, so we figured.
Oh!
Whoa!
And the Knicks are on fire.
So I'm happy to have you two here. So we are just beginning to talk about our first talking point of SmackDown, which is probably the biggest thing, but also as me personally, I'm like, okay, we'll see. We're talking about Sami Zayn officially coming back to SmackDown and him and Jimmy and Jacob versus the MFTs. I'm like, AKA Bloodline versus insert somebody here part 3. Like, okay, so we opened SmackDown with the MFT's opening promo, which gets interrupted by Sami, which again, he announces he's moving to SmackDown. Jimmy and Jacob come out in the midst of this chaos, sets up the main event. We get said main event in which, the team of Sami, Jimmy, and Jacob beating the MFTs. We also got the only other thing I cared about this episode was the Drew McIntyre promo, saying that Cody was the aggressor and that he's the real nightmare. So it's just like, okay, Cody's not here. We're going to continue this feud. Finally, Drew gets something of substance to take him away from Logan Paul, which is great. So I'm actually going to start with Nick and Nikki. I'm going to start with you both. How are we feeling about Sami coming back to SmackDown and continuing to feud forever with the Bloodline? And how do we feel about Drew's promo? So however you want to go about this.
Yeah, ladies first.
I feel like because Cena wasn't on the show, Cody wasn't on the show, like they needed a baby face. So insert Sami, and you keep he was like, I'm going to go for the belt this year, and how the title picture is kind of going. It's like, well, maybe I'm going to go back down and take a U.S. belt. So I think it's kind of twofold. I don't think they're going to put the belt on Sami anytime soon. So, hey, let's maybe ride your momentum, and you can just fuck around with, I don't know if I'm allowed to curse on your show. Sorry. It's not our bar.
Hey, it is okay. We are far enough in. You could drop curse words. We're good.
I've already said gay porn. You're fine.
You said some
We're talking about gay porn and turtles fucking. You're right.
You had some weird shit already.
But I don't know if this is like trying to build him up because rumors of him at Royal Rumble. I don't know. But is this we're not going to have a draft now, and we're just be like, hey, we're switching Sami in LA? I don't.
The news reports keep saying WWE is thinking about doing it. We're getting one. Then they decide to backtrack. I was just like, At this point, I feel like a draft needs to happen because when we talk about the women's division, I'm like, we're running Nia and Tiffany again, you guys. I thought we were done. But I digress. So apologies. Continue.
No, and then I love Drew's promo. I love him being this heel that's like constantly like right and kind of like justified, and him being like fighting everybody. I don't know. I really love Drew, and I can listen to him talk all day.
He should be the foil to Rollins. He should be part of some of that story.
Seriously.
It just makes so much sense because he was the one who said it all along. He's like, originally he kind of gave him the idea that they should have been friends and all this other stuff. And like, now he's going off and doing the vision that literally Drew told him should have been done from the start because of Roman Reigns and everything else. So yeah, it's kind of.
Drew McIntyre had so much momentum when he broke the fourth wall and started steaming out of interviews and just telling all these crazy things on the internet. And then they just kind of sat on him and didn't do too much. He was sort of here, sort of there. He got wrapped into a little bit of an LA Knight thing. He got wrapped into this Logan Paul thing and RKO thing. But you could do, like you said, like you could put him anywhere. He's the perfect foil for anybody.
The Priest.
It's great.
That Damian Priest, was it WrestleMania? No. Yeah, like right before WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Right. That feud, just any one of them had to win, and you were like, you're going to kill both of them, which is the exact same thing. To segue back to Mikey's first question, is that's what's going to happen with Sami Zayn and the Bloodline. It's not going to do anything but hurt Solo or it doesn't aid Sami in getting to the main event. It just hurts Solo, if anything, and anyone in that group.
It's super frustrating too because again, the Bloodline's probably going to be here until I don't know WWE stops recruiting the Samoans, but which is probably never going to happen, right?
That family's endless; it will never stop.
Survive your war.
They're WWE's version of the Bullet Club, man. It just always keep going.
They just keep going cousins and cousins for generations. It's just huge.
I'm Roman Reigns' 15th cousin removed on his mother's side.
Like, Roman's got like 6 kids. Like
that's the other thing too. We're probably gonna start seeing these children in the next like down the line. I was just like, oh boy.
I'm sure you all know those folks that go to family reunions and it's so big they have T-shirts for the family reunion.
Yes, that's exactly how this works.
That's all it's gonna be. It's gonna be we're here with the tribal council and it's 100 people in a park.
Remember, we got the whole family tree. That one lead into Mania. Right. We had a whole graphic that they put out.
Let me see if I can find it again.
Again, SmackDown was so good. We're talking about a year ago, and I think Nick and Nikki brought this up on their show. They've muted Solo so much. They've just taken away all his "I'm the enforcer, I'm the tough guy." And then they didn't let him go full goofy like he could have done, like he used to do in NXT apparently, where he used to just kind of be goofy enough off the hook and do crazy things.
It was funny. And even, leading into Money in the Bank too, and during the Money in the Bank ladder match, I was like, this is the Solo I want to see. He's still into that. Fight people, but also be funny about it. And he's funny, but for some reason, WWE is not going to let him do it. And I'm like, you're not helping him either. Listen, we've called Solo every name in the book. The Temu, the Wish.com version, bootleg weekend. Like, we have called him every name in the book that we possibly can. What are we doing? What are we doing? This helps nobody. It really doesn't. Jimmy's just out here floundering. Jacob is kind of in a weird position right now. Jeff Cobb, I love you, but like JC, I feel like we could have stuck you in NXT for a little bit before pulling you up into this storyline because I wanted to see you run through. Listen, you versus Obo, it was on my dream match list, and now I gotta wait to see what happens with all that.
Bring him back I know it's a different promotion, but why couldn't they bring him back as the Lucha Underground? What was it, Matanza, and put him in AAA?
Yes, Matanza would have been great. Listen. Jeff Cobb has traveled around the world. He has worked in Japan, and Japan also makes them work with the luchadors down in Mexico. Jeff Cobb is no slouch. And to have him just sit there and just be a visual representation of the MFT, I'm just like, what are we doing? I don't get it. It's nobody is succeeding in this storyline right now.
Looks small in that group too. He doesn't look like an enforcer at all. Like, it's like when Solo brought him in, it's like you're my backup. it's like he reminded me of like it's. I mean, I get it. Like Taz was tough coming out and like did a lot of, but comparatively with everyone else on the main roster, it's hard to put him over and make him look like the tough guy. He really just gets lost in that whole group
because he's 5'11", 5'10", right?
He looks.
Yeah, I think he's like 5'8".
No, he's small.
Yeah.
And they surrounded him with guys twice his size or bigger, so now he's the little one. It's not doing him any favors.
No.
I'm sorry, Nikki. I didn't mean to jump on.
No, I agree with you 100%. I agree with Mike. Like, go back to NXT, have him be a killer. Like, again, how he's not gonna be able to come back from this right now. Like, he looks smaller than he actually is, and he's not getting any promo time or FaceTime. You're just like behind Solo, and it just, I don't know. Again, no one's benefiting from this remotely.
Once this faction like splits up, like nobody's gonna be like, "Who the fuck was this dude again?" they're not like that's what's gonna happen. Like,
you think
gonna
so? He's gonna be lost to time. We'll never care about Solo.
No, not Solo. Everybody else in the group.
Oh,
I think Solo will be the one person, but it's Solo Sikoa. Everybody else will be like,
no.
Why do we care about these guys?
Whether you like it or not, Tonga Loa is getting over.
Oh no, not.
He's gonna be the mock.
Out of here.
It's a matter of time.
Oh my goodness, I cannot. But the fact that and then Drew's promo were the only two big things in terms of like the top of your card that was happening. I was just like, SmackDown, we need to get it together. I'm just like, I can't have every single promotion right now we watch and cover be in that weird phase of we're struggling to get to the end of the year. I'm like, somebody needs to succeed, you guys. Come on. TNA is rough right now. The main roster WWE is rough right now. NXT is the only thing that is holding me together with WWE right now. It's like, I don't know what's going on, Shawn Michaels, if you're just throwing everything at the wall to see what sticks, but it's working. So
Mikey, how much of that of this dilemma is because SummerSlam was so early?
Well, that's a great point.
That is a good question. Let me think about this real quick.
Because
SummerSlam's usually at the end of August or towards the end of it. That's like the final summer thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what happens is historically, so if you remember, I don't know how deeply, I mean, I know he's not everyone's favorite, but like Hulk Hogan, right, used to leave because football season came right after Labor Day, right? And that's that whole fall season, they see a ratings dip traditionally all the time. And Hulk Hogan was a genius at playing that system. It's like really well noted that that's how he got like WCW to really pay up as much as he did, because he'd go off and he knew the ratings were going to take a dip, and then he'd come back when, you know, he knew the big PLEs or pay-per-views were coming up. So I wonder though, because of that 3-week period where you'd normally have a SummerSlam buildup with, you know, guys like Punk, whoever, Rollins, like, right, all doing promos, having their matches and all that fills 3 weeks of content and programming for them, that how much of that is influenced by that?
Well, we talked about it during our SummerSlam review too, because realistically between the Saturday night's main event, Evolution, you know, packed weekend, we only had 2 weeks until SummerSlam. I was like, we only had 2 weeks of builds for a bunch of these matches. And so I was like, we sped run through them, and it was at best, or oh god, why is this on my card? Like at worst. And now that we're 2 weeks out from it, I was just like, yeah, this feels weird. I also wonder if they're kind of reserving a lot of the crazy stuff, because now starting this week, we are about to head international Raws and SmackDowns for the next 2 weeks leading into Clash in Paris. So I don't know if WWE is also holding out stuff, which also is just like, all right, how many of you have passports, or how many of you don't have a record that allows you to travel outside the country right now? As we saw with certain folks. Yeah, because there's certain Samoans that are not allowed to travel to other countries right now.
And I don't want to harp on the whole conspiracy theory of TKO thing, but they definitely seem to like that UFC model. UFC went from having a fight once every 2 to 3 months to give guys a chance to recover And then when Zuffa and that exchange and got bought out and whatever, then they were like, all right, we want one once a month. That's a quick turnaround, especially when you're doing PLEs and pay-per-views and everything else. So having such an early SummerSlam and then going, hey, we're going to Paris. Boom. All right, great. You have less than 5 weeks. And you just blew up all your storylines at SummerSlam.
Which leads into the bigger question too, because this has been a question that at least here at BC WrestlePod we've kind of gone back and forth with since the 3 years we been doing this. It seems that WWE is now going back to the let's have a pay-per-view a month schedule. I'm like, no, stop giving me pay-per-views a month. It is not helping writing. Exactly. It's not helping creative. It burns wrestlers out. It burns us out because after Clash in Paris, the rumor is that 3 weeks, 4 weeks later, we are getting a pay-per-view on the same day as AEW All Out Toronto, which I'm just like, people are like, oh, it's going to be like, what are they bringing back? And the rumor is it's the Over the Limit pay-per-view. I'm like, Over the Limit and Fastlane needs to stay dead. Those pay-per-views have historically never been fun for me.
So if they want to do a pay-per-view every month, here's how you do it. You have 3 brands, do a brand-specific pay-per-view every month.
Bring back the 2015, 2016 Raw.
So you have a SmackDown exclusive pay-per-view, then you have a Raw exclusive pay-per-view, then you have an NXT exclusive pay-per-view. But then it allows you to solidify your rosters and it gives them time because now it's like, okay, cool. Now we have 3 months before our next PLE or to the next big PLE. Then your big 4, you bring everybody together.
And then bring back Evolution more than once every 5 years.
Right. So then that allows them to give time to write. It gives time for the stories to build out through your weekly shows. And that's how you do it. That's how you would push that. And it allows us, actually set up brand specific things.
Bailey to AEW. Let's go.
I said that earlier. I just derailed their chat.
Well, you did what?
Oh, because Mikey
I apologize.
said Mikey said that was his favorite part of Raw, and I just said Bailey's time's up or AEW's time's now. Let me defend that because I don't think there's much left for her to do. I don't really want to see Bailey much of anybody on Maine or anyone coming up. I don't think it really matters. She could do much more in AEW than for that women's division that she could
totally
do.
Agree.
Well, there's that part, and then there's what I think is that WWE doesn't want to give her anything to do. And I'm like, listen, Mercedes is over there, Bailey. That's your bestie. Y'all support each other thick and thin. I was just like, if WWE is not going to let you do or give you anything, I was just like, don't renew that contract, girl. Like, explore the world.
The thing that's like, we're not going to use you, but you can't go anywhere else. Like, you can't go with your best friend. Like, we don't want to use you, but no one else can use you either. Like, we're going to hoard. They don't bench people, and we don't counterproduct or all
They're
the
like
other
Pokemon
bullshit.
cards.
Not Pokemon. I love
They're playing Pokemon when they should be playing Yu-Gi-Oh! But then for some reason they mid-turn into fucking Magic the Gathering and then go all the way over to freaking Disney's was it Lorcana and change up completely.
Now it's Butterfly Vanguard. We don't know what's going on.
We will talk about anything but SmackDown. We refuse to talk about it.
No, because like it's the last couple of weeks at least, but this week especially have been very uninspiring. Nothing is tremendously bad. When I do report cards, my report card scale is C- to A+. Like, I don't believe a wrestling show is D or F unless you are Ric Flair's retirement match. That is a full-on F.
It's the greatest match of all time.
What about the Gatorade Blacklight match? What about the Chainsaw Texas Massacre belt match?
Listen, that was so good. It was bad. It was so bad. It was good. I was just like,
what about the Jeff Jarrett Briscoe concessions brawl in Chicago 2 years ago?
That was still better than Ric Flair's last match, but
that's true, probably.
I mean, the fact that this is your big storyline right now in SmackDown is kind of worrisome because, again, you have 2 hours, and we started and ended the show with MFTs versus, insert babyface team here, kind of. I'm like, we've done this for the last 3 years now. What are we doing? I'm just like, I'm going to be so for real. And this is a kind of a hot take, which leads into my second talking point. What should be the big focus right now on SmackDown that we have seen has consistently been amazing and been really fun to watch? Let's talk about this men's tag team division because, again, I don't understand. Like, I get that there's different writers for Raw and SmackDown, but how are you to tell me that you have an overabundance of teams in SmackDown, yet you still have things for people to do in the tag team division that don't necessarily evolve around the championships? And then I look at Raw's tag team division and it's on life support right now. Like, what is happening? So the biggest thing with the tag team division is, of course, we have a tag team match where Motor City Machine Guns lost to Mellow Don't Miz, as we've seen, because now we're finally revisiting that after, who knows how long. We all know where this is going. Miz and Mellow are not going to last. Push Mellow as a babyface. Let him finally be a singles star. Get this man a singles championship. This man has been here for 3 years, and the only accomplishment that he has had on this main roster since coming over from NXT is he is a winner of the Andre the Giant Battle Royale. Triple K is not beating the allegations. I'm just saying. So, and then, of course, we're getting a match between Mellow Don't Miz next week. So, continuing to happen with all of that. So, fun. Oh, no, sorry. Mellow Does Miz beats Fraxium. They have the Motor City Machine Gun match next week. My bad. I think. And then, do we care about Aleister Black versus Ron Killings, you guys? I really don't.
Not really. But the one thing I do want to touch on that I don't think we've talked about yet is, did y'all notice the Wyatts?
That they were in every single backstage segment for different things. It was crazy. Including the women's segment, which we'll get into in a little bit because, again, I have issues with certain things, but whatever.
It's just interesting. I don't know, especially as people, we love the Wyatts, but I don't think they're that over that you need to put them in every segment.
They're just spoopy in the background, and we've seen times and with no return. So why do I care about them being spoopy in the background?
I think that's the thing, right? There's no, push is even the wrong word. It's yeah, they're here. They're great. Use them for something. What are we doing?
Being spoopy.
We're waiting for Halloween.
They only wrestle in October. The rest of the year.
Wait. No, I think what it is.
Please don't have them be Abaddons.
But also, they're saving them because they do have to make an appearance at Halloween Horror Nights at least once during the entirety because they have a house.
I hate corporate commercialism. What? But again, you have Mellow Dope Miz. They beat Fraxium. They have Machine Guns next week. Street Profits beat DIY. I don't care about Aleister versus Ron Killings, which I was okay, whatever, it's fine. So at least the tag team division has seen something. All right, let's get into this women's division because it is hit and miss for some of these things this week. So we do get a match in which Alexa Bliss does beat Piper Niven, only for Chelsea and the Secret Harvest to beat both up Charlotte and Alexa, which I was all right, so there's that feud right there next for these tag titles, which I was color me interested. I am okay with this. This should be fun. So, yeah. But before we get into that, Nick and Nikki, I know you got to go, so thank you for running in for all of this. You are more than welcome to run in anytime in the future. We love you guys, so thank you for being here.
We love you.
Great seeing you both.
Sorry, our dog is having a meltdown over there. We got to go take him out. But
absolutely. Go for it. We totally.
Thanks, guys. We'll catch up later.
Bye. Alrighty. So, yeah. The women's action this week on SmackDown was interesting. Again, we're setting up this feud between We're Not Friends versus the Secret Harvest and Chelsea Green, which potentially could be fun. But then we just take 5,000 steps back because, again, we head backstage. Kiana James is offering her business card to Tiffany Stratton. So Kiana's still trying to recruit for this faction. It's her and Julia right now. Tiffany says, I'm good. She declines. But again, Michin steps up as is calling Kiana out. This is what? Am I not good enough for you? So we might see Julia and Michin, which could be a lot of fun, be give me the Dollhouse 2.0. Love to see this.
I don't hate that, but that's really that's sort of the only development of anything we got for 2 hours, right?
Well, I don't know if you want to call this next thing development, but Tiffany and Jade are arguing because Jade wants a rematch, and I was just
it's not.
It's not. And then Nia Jax comes in. It's just like, girl, I want to rematch with you, Tiffany. I want to fight you. I was like, no.
Dumb.
We do. I was like, Tiffany has to find somebody else outside of Jade and Nia right now. I was like, what are we doing? No, but we've already finished Nia Jax and Tiffany. Do not bring this back. What are we doing?
In my head, it makes me nervous because I feel like Nia was the plan.
Potentially.
Or a plan or an idea or Jade in there, something so Tiffany can kind of do something else. And now we're plugging Nia back in. It's odd.
It really is. And I don't understand what we're doing. Like, Kelta, do you have any additional thoughts to like what's going on with the women's division on SmackDown? Like, what do you like? What do you dislike?
There's a lot. There's definitely a lot. They are really stretching Chelsea very thin, I think, because not only has she been on SmackDown, but she's also on freaking NXT as well with Ethan Page.
Yeah, she
She's
and All
getting
Ego
stretched
having a program, yeah.
everywhere. And it's like, I'm thinking like, okay, she has to be in Philly for NXT on Tuesday. And then in Boston for SmackDown. Oh, sorry, not Boston. I think they're in Ireland on Friday.
They are international starting this week. Yeah, so yeah, that's the thing. And honestly, I'm gonna be so for real, Kilt. Like, depending on what happens on any developments in Philadelphia, like we have Ethan and Chelsea taking on Tavion and Zara May Steele too. Like that program got developed this past Tuesday on NXT. So unless Chelsea's gonna be a heat wave, like this, we're stretching Chelsea very thin. Like you don't want to give her something too crazy on SmackDown, but then you're having her over here in NXT doing stuff as well. So I was like, I don't understand what we're doing, you guys. Like, what's going on? So it's frustrating because I'm excited because We're Not Friends versus the Secret Harvests could be very fun because Chelsea always is great with what she's given. But then we're taking a step back. So it's like, so that's for the tag titles. But then you have Tiffany being run back through Jade and Nia potentially. And why are we not doing anything else with Julia? Why is she not squashing girls out here? Like, she is the United States champion. Like, if you're not going to do anything, give me at least one more encounter between her and Zelina. Like, where is Zelina Vega? Like, what's going on with all that too? Like, what is happening? Like, Julia has just disappeared. I was just like, what are we doing? You are muted. You are muted, Professor.
Professor,
We
you're
can't
muted.
hear you.
Sorry. We went from having 2 hours of content in a 3-hour show to now having like 30 minutes of content in a 2-hour show.
SmackDown's on live support. It's struggling right now.
Out of nowhere. Like, SmackDown was great for about, 6 weeks in a row? Like, all right, I can't sort of care. And then, just went straight down.
It is frustrating, and I don't understand what is happening with this. I was just like, the women's mid-card is going crazy. Again, Becky is doing better. I mean, granted, potentially, I don't know if it's her and Nikki Bella down the line, but at least Becky's on TV, like having matches, even if it's not for the title. Why is Julia not wrestling anybody? What is happening? Is she hurt? Like, what's the tea, WWE? What's going on? It's frustrating to say the least. The women's division on SmackDown, again, I was just like, somebody put a diagram out on the internet breaking down like who's the heels and the faces in each, like the top title division, the mid card, and then the lower card. Nia Jax is the only heel in the top of the card right now. And I was like, that's a problem. And the other thing is like, what's the deal with Bianca? Like, is she not fully clear? Like, where is Bianca? Like, what is going on? So, because I'm like, Tiffany versus Bianca could be really fun, and that could be a fun program. But are we like, what are we waiting for? Like, what's going on? What's happening in SmackDown? What, Nick Aldis? I like you a lot. You have your roster on point, and you have better control than Scrap Daddy does over the roster. But like, what are we doing, SmackDown? Anyways, Senior Luchadont, do you have anything else to add about our women's division action on SmackDown and where we're going? Okay. So yeah. But that brings us to the end of WWE. You know what? I actually like this format for when we don't really feel a full breakdown is worth it because it gives us time to talk about things. So, you know what? We're going to reserve these for when we feel like WWE is kind of flunking it. And who knows? It might be our new format until they fix things. So we'll see what.
I don't hate it.
So, yeah, so that brings us to the end of our Dual Dynasty review. But before we sign off for, right now, let me give you a preview of what this week looks like because WWE, at least this crew, we will be taking a 2-week hiatus because there are lots of other things happening. So this upcoming weekend, we're not doing a review because we are doing a morning watch along for Forbidden Door, which is crazy. So it might just be me again for a little bit. But and the following week, we will not have a review show because most of us will be watching Clash in Paris, which will be starting at 11 a.m. Pacific, which is, 2 p.m. Eastern for us on the 31st. So we got a morning pay-per-view on the West Coast for Clash in Paris. So that should be fun to watch. But let me show you what we got going on for the rest of this week. So tomorrow at 6 p.m. Pacific, myself and Adolfo we have been covering this for the last 4 or 5 weeks, but we have a winner, and we will be reviewing the New Japan's G1 Climax tournament. Congratulations to Konosuke Takeshita as this year's winner. He will be getting a main event championship match at Wrestle Kingdom in January. So if Zack Sabre Jr. can hold on to that title until January, it will be Takeshita versus Zack Sabre Jr., which is going to be nuts. But Adolfo and I will be reviewing the entire tournament, at least the final show, and giving our takes of what were our favorite matches, all the stuff. It has been a grueling 4 weeks, but it's been fun. Then on Tuesday is a special edition of the All Elite Ensemble review at 6 p.m. Pacific. We will be reviewing Dynamite and Collision, but this will be technically our go-home edition as we will be making predictions for Forbidden Door as well, which is wild to think about. So that's going to be on Tuesday. Wednesday, we get the double reviews of NXT and CMLL. This will be the go-home NXT review, and we will be giving our predictions for Heat Wave, which is happening next week as well. And then CMLL will be here to review all the goodness as well. Then on Friday, the TNA crew will be talking a lot of shit as we try to get through our TNA Remergence review because Emergence was not good, y'all, and we were plagued with technical difficulties while we were trying to watch. So, TNA had a rough outing for this one. And then Saturday and Sunday is watch along galore. Saturday, 5 p.m. Pacific is night 1 of GCW Homecoming. This is GCW's biggest show every year. And this will be the 1-year anniversary since we started covering GCW on this channel, which is crazy. Then on Sunday, 10 a.m. is the Forbidden Door watch along with a hard stop at 1:30 p.m., even if the pay-per-view is not done, because then I will be jumping over with Andrew to do at 2 p.m. Pacific for night 2 of GCW Homecoming. So it's going to be crazy. It's going to be good. I have cleared all my plans. It is going to be wild. So busy week this upcoming week. Also, I will be starting the school year up again. So that's going to be fun.
Yep, same. So it's going to get, I'm going to be here when I can. It's going to get weird.
It's going to get weird. But that's going to be it for us here at the Dual Dynasty. I'm super excited for this week. And even though we talked a lot of smack on this episode, I could not do this without my other 3 co-hosts for WWE. So I'm really happy to have them because they are amazing. But we got to get up on out of here because I am going to try to relax for a little bit because I'm jumping back on with Andrew and my new friend, his new friend, Sam, who is a hoot, and I love him. As we do night 2 of GCW versus JCW. So
have you seen the photos of the gathering of the Juggalos? Have you seen that on the Instagram?
It is crazy.
Damn.
I will say this though. We shall see how the main event goes because Professor, we are coming back with an exploding barbed wire death match. And for us AEW fans who remember what happened last time, we are going to see what happens.
Those either work or they don't.
Like we saw with AEW. And then that's why they've never done it again.
Damn.
But from all of us here at Dual Dynasty and the rest of the BC WrestlePod family, remember, take care of yourself, love one another, stay iconic, and more importantly than anything, you always deserve to finish your story. We will catch you later tonight with day 2 of the 2-day war watch along. But until then, this is going to be sayonara and adios. And before we get up on out of here, Senor Luchadont, if you could do the favors for us, can you remind the folks why, through the good and the bad, we do what we do here at BC WrestlePod?
Because we wanted to.
And on that smooth jazz interpretation, we will catch y'all later. But until then, peace.